Hello and welcome to BDTV. The Enforcement Directorate last month issued a show cause notice to the country's largest cryptocurrency exchange, WazirX, for contravention of FEMA for transaction involving cryptocurrencies worth rupees 2,790 crore. It has raised a lot of hue and cry in the industry, with investors or traders demanding some clarification. How serious the whole matter is? Should the investors or the traders using the platform worry about it? We have with us Mr. Avimukt Dar, one of the founding partners of an Indian law firm, IndusLaw, to explain the whole matter in detail. Here's what he said.
So obviously, as a law firm, we don't represent either WazirX or ED. So anything that I'm saying here is based on public domain and media reports. But having said that, my understanding of the concern that the ED has is in relation to the Foreign Exchange Management Act. So ED is primarily responsible for both prevention of money laundering act compliance in India, as well as FEMA compliance in India. And crypto exchanges pose a real problem for the regulators in that the KYC as well as anti-money laundering compliances require Indian regulators such as the Reserve Bank as well as the companies themselves involved to have complete details of where money is flowing and who are the people who are the ultimate source of funds. So I think the issue with crypto wallets and crypto exchanges is that you could, for instance, convert INR into crypto and then transfer that crypto abroad. So the KYC that might happen would be at the stage of your opening the wallet in India or you're acquiring crypto in India. But it seems, at least from media reports, that there isn't complete paper trails or data available as to the person who got the crypto overseas.
Can the cryptocurrency exchange, which has received the notice, can it escape on grounds that it is an unregulated industry so far?
That is difficult because now whether crypto is regulated or not is really a question of perspective. As you know, last year there was a very landmark Supreme Court case, the IMAI decision, where RBI, which had held that crypto should be completely prohibited in India, and had asked all the banks to stop dealing in crypto.
If I talk about the existing investor in the retail category and other categories as well, how serious this notice to WazirX is for them, for the existing investor, if we talk about?
I think, okay, one thing which has happened in over the last quarter is that Binance, for example, has been under enhanced regulatory scrutiny across the world, right? So the European Union, the United Kingdom, the United States, and indeed even Cayman Islands, they're all ramping up the scrutiny of transactions by this. I understand WazirX is owned by Binance. So there is a large scrutiny of this exchange. The Binance exchange says that it is not headquartered anywhere in the world. That is its statement. And that has also put regulators across the world in a bit of a complexity because typically they're used to, banks and other financial services operators saying that we have a certain headquarters. And there's a principle of regulation, which is that your home regulator is your primary regulator and your host regulator is your secondary regulator. So that principle becomes very fuzzy when you're dealing with a company which says that we don't have a headquarters.
So we can say that the existing investors who are using their exchange need not worry.
I won't say that they need not worry because in the investigation, the concern, as I said, is if I was to remit cryptocurrency out of India, what am I getting in return for that remittance? And is that mapped out and documented? So we can't say that you need not worry because the ED has very vast powers under PMLA as well as under FEMA. And these powers include even blocking transactions, right? And preventing you from carrying on business. So there should be some cause for concern. But at the same time, I wouldn't want to give any kind of a statement which might lead to any panic or any panic selling.
And what lies ahead for WazirX if they are found by ED in violation?
In banking regulation, at least, there is this principle which was formulated by American economists 40 years ago called the too big to fail syndrome, right? And that came out of America's savings and loan banking crisis, where the regulator came under pressure that even if there was some non-compliance, if they collapse a very large part of the financial services industry, that can have a devastating consequence and knock-on effect on a lot of consumers. Any regulator must keep consumer welfare at the foremost of their mind, right? If they swipe away people's savings, people's money in one brutal act, which is exactly what had happened. This is why the Supreme Court had intervened in IMI case, because the bank had said that they had simply told all banks not to deal in crypto immediately. So there has to be some kind of selective and forensic approach to investigation. By all means, if there is any violation of law, that should be investigated. But a blanket approach to the industry would be catastrophic. A lot of Indians have already invested in crypto, and to that extent, there should be a lot of care, which is exactly what the Supreme Court had directed the RBI to do. Be very cautious and careful in selectively targeting the wrong things which may happen in crypto. There are some genuine concerns